The Delta Flight Attendant Seniority Integration Committee thought it would be helpful for you to have some background on the federal law that governs seniority integration in the airline industry, to put the Delta Northwest process in some context for you. The law, which was passed in 2007, was patterned after the 1972 Allegheny Mohawk transaction, where the government imposed some labor protective provisions requiring that the lists be integrated in a fair and equitable manner. The law also provides that if the parties can't agree what the fair and equitable manner will be, that it will be submitted to an arbitrator who will make a decision for them. Now, it's important to understand that the fair and equitable standard has been around for many, many decades and was routinely applied in seniority integration decisions throughout that period of time. What happened was in 2001, after American Airlines purchased TWA, the American flight attendants decided to staple the TWA flight attendants, who were quite senior, to the bottom of their seniority list. As a consequence, in 2007, when the federal government contemplated that there might be another round of consolidation in the airline industry, the Congress passed the new law to ensure that what happened to the TWA flight attendants wouldn't happen to any other employee groups. So you've probably wondered, what is fair and equitable? How does the law define it? Well, in fact, the law doesn't have a definition of fair and equitable. And there isn't a definition in the Allegheny Mohawk labor protective provisions or any other regulation. In fact, if you read every seniority integration arbitration decision from the beginning of time, what you would learn is that there isn't one seniority integration method that is fair and equitable in all transactions. Why is that? Well, because every transaction is unique, and the facts and circumstances of that transaction will govern what method is fair and equitable. Now, not only is the fair and equitable standard not a cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all transaction standard, but in fact, that standard applied to different employee groups in the same transaction can produce different methods of integration, all of which would be considered fair and equitable. For example, pilots, mechanics, and flight attendants in one transaction might come up with different methods of integrating their lists, and all of them would be fair and equitable. And a little later on, I'll tell you about what some of the other employee groups in the Delta Northwest transaction have already accomplished in terms of integrating their lists. So, how do employee groups like your Delta Flight Attendant Committee decide what method is fair and equitable in a transaction? Well, to begin with, merger committees study past seniority arbitration decisions and settlement agreements where the parties haven't had to go to arbitration to see what factors those arbitrators considered when deciding what method to impose. And your committee did just that. It studied past airline transactions, and it read many, many seniority integration decisions, looking for the kinds of factors that might apply to this situation. And one thing you should know, historically, most airline transactions in the past involved situations where there was a healthy company purchasing a company that was in economic distress or failing. And that factor played an important role in the arbitrator's decision.